Let's do this. Anyway, welcome back to another video, everybody. I'm your favorite KaizoZilla, and today we're reacting to Zwiggo's video, Can You Beat Pokemon Emerald Kaizo with only starter Pokemon? This is the hardest ROM hack ever made. Now, some background. Oh, I just found this on my For You page. I saw a video called Can You Beat Emerald Kaizo Elite Four with only starter, or with only Pokemon? And then I refreshed the page to see what other stuff I could find, and I was like, okay, well, I actually want to watch that video, and then I put this in, so look, like, here's a search.
Well, hello everyone.
Oh,
Zwiggo,
wait. And the first thing I saw was, also, I can't spell for the life of me. Kaizo. And literally, in my search, the first thing I saw was this, as you saw. And I was like, huh. You know what? He made another one too that I kind of want to watch. So, I'm gonna watch it. We're gonna react. Yeah, we're gonna react to this. I've never seen this, by the way. So there's no spoilers, and if my recording ever cuts off, I'll just do another one. Also, my Bakugan are falling. Hold up. I have a collection of Bakugan on my bed frame because I have a bunk bed that's made of complete metal. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. Anyway, let's get started.
Welcome to yet another video on the channel. This time we're going to see if we can beat Pokemon Emerald Kaizo with only starter Pokemon. And you know, at first sight, this challenge might not seem too hard to some people because they have
Just let me go to full screen. Just the Lego.
never heard of the game Pokemon Emerald Kaizo.
I love that
Your
sprite
world
art.
is going to change for the worst because this is one of the hardest Pokemon games out there.
He said one of. It is scary to think that there's a harder ROM hack in the world. I just also stepped on a Lego, and I'm laying down. So this is gonna be a long one. This is probably gonna end up to be like an hour-long video. So get comfy. I am right now because I do not have a setup where I sit down.
There right now. Also guys, I just want to give a huge shout out to Let's Smack Zach for being my first ever Patreon. If you guys also want to support me on Patreon, the link will be in the description. It's totally up to you.
Oh, look at the mudkey part.
A shout out in the next challenge video. You also get access to other perks like Discord perks and stuff like that, and I'm also working on memberships, but
Okay, so I'm gonna let this play out because he didn't explain his rule sets. I'm gonna go grab my 2-liter soda. I'll be right back.
I have to finish the emotes, and I also need to find some time to stream again, but definitely...
Never mind, it was right here by my bed.
Well now, why is this game so hard? Well, first off,
frickin' ads!
Your Pokemon don't...
I said frickin', this is gonna be hopefully a no cursing video.
This is the story of Threat and the one wallet that started it off. It's a story of love and adventure and murder most foul.
Don't have any EVs whatsoever, so you always have the base stats of your Pokemon to work with, and that's it. And to add to this, the opponent you are facing will always have max EVs on his or her Pokemon, which is crazy to fight against. So you're basically always at a disadvantage. The game has also drastically changed in terms of the Pokemon that you're fighting. Every single trainer has other teams and teams that are basically built to beat any kind
Holy
of team.
cart.
Crazy. Sometimes there will be trainers that will run a toxic stall team, so they will just use toxic and
I'll welcome you to my stall teams with open arms. Team Stalls was Armada. Our opponents should herd their hairs to let us win.
use protect a bunch of times combined with recover, of course, because you know you have to lose. And besides that, there are Wobbuffets everywhere with the Shadow Tag ability that can trap your Pokemon in and kill them with a Destiny Bond or a counter or a Mirror Coat. The AI is also very much improved from the normal base game, and that also makes it way harder to work with. And
I've never played Emerald Kaizo.
I won't be using any items in battle, but did I say that this game doesn't allow you to use any items in battle? You physically can't use items, which is great because I wasn't going to do anyway. This game will really get the best Pokemon trainer out of you because you really need to be on top of your game. You can't make any misclicks. You have to run the right team, the right moveset. You have to have something against everything, and that's why I thought, well, why don't I run a team of starter type Pokemon? Before playing the game, I was like, this can't be that hard, right? And then after I played the game, I was like, I'm never playing this again. But I think that I did way too much explaining already. Let's just get...
He says he's never gonna do it again. He says as you scroll down, and you see his emerald. Wait, was this 2 years? Yeah, he literally a year later. He did bugs, steel, and only ground. Holy crap, Zwiggo, you did not learn your lesson. So I know nobody gives a heck, a frick about my opinion. I did say this was an attempt to be a language-free video. It's turning out to be a lot harder than I remembered. I'm also trying to transform my channel into a oh my god, my back is keeps wanting to look up. Stay looking down. There we go. Looks better. Oh, I actually... Okay, so... Yeah, also, I did my dragon's design again. I have a dragon, a toothless, who has my mask on. The mask I use for videos. It's not like the face mask, but like an eye mask. He's got my Red Sox hat, and he's got both my earrings on him. And my bow tie, because that just goes with my tuxedo. For videos. You guys won't know what I'm talking... You guys won't know what I'm talking about until like a month from now. But I've got an entire outfit coming my way. Just for like a face video to show what my outfit is for my channel.
Show you what this game is all about. Of course, we name ourselves Zwiggo, and then we can finally pick the starter that I always wanted to pick, which is Mudkip, because it's my favorite starter. Of course, the game starts off like normal. You fight the level 2 Zigzagoon, but this time he actually almost kills us, which is insane. It's a level 2 Zigzagoon. And you also only start off with the move Tackle. I then named my Mudkip Beep, just after the Mudkip that I had in my Pokemon Emerald Soul Link, together with Plonkabro 900. If you haven't checked that out already, the link will be in the description. If I would have tried a Nuzlocke this game, well, it wouldn't have worked out.
Oh, yeah. Another thing is, some Pokemon are buff, like Labia and, Ledian. They're extremely buff.
Yeah, I did. Eventually, I grinded up my Mudkip up to level 7 so that I could take on May and her Trico. Her Trico has quick attack, which
Why does it look so laggy?
Always go first, but it doesn't matter because
okay, it's his actual recording, not mine.
3 tackles managed to finish her off. I then find out that Pokeballs only cost about 10 Pokedollars, so I go ahead and spend all of my money on them and catch every single starter that I can find in this area, which are Charmander and Cyndaquil. I need my Charmander Sandra and my Cyndaquil Pinko. No reason, I just typed in some random letters and I got these names. And no kidding, I wasn't playing around anymore because I knew that this game would really want to screw you over, so I just grinded up my Mudkip.
Oh yeah, this game, 16. I'm pretty sure it wrecks you. I watched Wolfie VGC beat it.
I got myself a Marshtomp.
Sorry, yeah, this game will really wreck you. I watched Wolfie VGC beat it and he had a hard time.
And now you guys might think that this is way too much over leveling. Well, you'll see that it really isn't. It's really like it's necessary to grind in this game. I then had my first encounter with Team Magma, and it didn't go as smoothly as I expected.
Oh, it's a toxic stall.
He almost lost because his team was crazy. I mean, he had a coughing in there who was toxic stalling in the first 10 minutes of the game, which is what? Why? If I didn't overlevel so much with my Marshtomp, I probably would have lost, but we didn't, luckily enough. I then wanted to
oh my god,
my
they're leftovers.
Red stopped me at the end of a bridge. I wanted to fight me. Why is Red in this game? I mean, it's very cool, but it's going to be very hard. He has his usual team, Eevee, the 3 starters from Kanto, and then Pikachu. But because we overleveled our Marshtomp more than enough, we managed to take him out with a few mud shots and water guns. After that fight, I knew that it was only going to get even harder, so I grinded up my Cyndaquil up to level 16 so that
Cyndaquil's so close to death.
I also managed to find one of the most crucial team members ever,
Bulbasaur.
You won't believe how good Venusaur is in this game.
Oh yeah, because of all the status effects you can use. I remember status effects being like one of the most important things aside from will absorb Lantern.
I really underestimated Bulbasaur, but he is great. We name him Toad, and then I decided to grind up my Charmander up to level 16 so that he would evolve into a Charmeleon. I then traveled to the first
And then
gym
get Metal
and tried
Claw.
to take it on, but I lost to a gym trainer, so I decided that I had to grind up my Bulbasaur so that it would evolve into an Ivysaur. Luckily, there was a beach nearby and I already got the old rod in this game. You get it very early on,
Squirtle.
which is great, and I grinded up against Kabutos and Omanites. After my Bulbasaur evolved, I decided to take on the first gym.
Why are there ancient Pokemon in the water? Oh yeah, you have no EVs in this. He just said that. I'm stupid. You could get a bunch of EV defense. No, defense EVs, and no, there's no EVs.
Gym, but her Anorith, her freaking Anorith, literally
Yeah.
my entire team a few times, which was crazy. But
Anorith
after
is fucking
trying to figure out a
freaking
strategy,
insane.
I finally got the run that I needed. She starts off with her Nose Pass, who I one-shot with one Razor Leaf. Next up is Relicanth, who shares the same fate. Next up is Lunatone, so I switch into Beep to try and Water Gun it a few times because I know that he has Confusion. Fortunately, we do get put to sleep, but eventually we snap out of it and we Water Gun one last time to take it out.
Lily.
It always gives me trouble, so I try to smoke screen it and lower its accuracy, but it isn't of any use because she...
I remember another thing Pokemon Challenger said during Wolfie VGC's like competition is every Pokemon has like a speed, so they're always gonna try and go for the speed like advantage, and then even if the move does more, and the switching's pretty weird. So yeah, there's a lot of things I remember from because I just watched the video for the Wolfie VGC just literally yesterday. So if I pause it, it's also a reaction video, so don't get that. Also, he hasn't said it yet, so what I'm gonna say, go subscribe to him, subscribe to me, go watch his video, but after you watch mine, because I'll leave it down in the link in the description if I remember, because my memory's atrocious. You know what? I'm gonna do this now, that way I don't forget. And let's continue with the video. I'm pretty sure he'll bring it up at some point. So that should be your extra reminder. Excuse me.
She doesn't miss any of her Rock Tomb, so I then go for
Damn.
one last Metal Claw before Charmeleon goes down. I then switch in Pinko, hit it with a Flame Wheel, but she has a Citrus Berry, which
I'm pretty
heals
sure all
her
her Pokemon
full.
have Citrus
We hit her
Berry.
with one more Flame Wheel before we get taken out with a Rock Tomb. I then go into Toad to finish it off with one final Razor Leaf. Next up is the
Anorith.
queen of my existence again, Anorith, but this time I managed to keep my Ivysaur alive, so I Razor Leafed it 2 times and it was down.
Shuckle.
Was her Shuckle, so I thought that was going to be a
It's my Lord and Savior, Shuckle. People are like, would you like to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? I go up to people's house and be like, would you like to talk about our Lord and Savior, Shuckle? And of course I don't, because there's a lot of religious people where I live right now. And that would probably get me kicked out of the neighborhood. I don't know how that works. Probably get chewed out. But yeah.
Toxic Stall, but luckily it wasn't, so a few Razor Leaves took it down. We get our first gym.
Oh.
Imagine.
Oh, laggy. Okay, this has happened to me a few times. I don't know why. I was watching a Tubbo stream earlier, and I don't know. I was watching them make sushi with cup toast. What was I gonna say? Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Ivysaur couldn't have been toxic. I think you forgot that for that second. He couldn't have possibly been poisoned. So.
Imagine, I'm really proud. Before we continue, I want to see a few more things. Gym leaders in this game also can't use any items, but as a trade-off, they get great held items like lumberries or leftovers, so that they can heal up that way. I then beat up May, which was an optional battle, but I figured that I might need EXP. I then found out that I could get even more starters at this point in the game, so I got myself Squirtle and Totodile, which I named Alvin, and thick cheek, and then traveled to
Just
Denver
cheek.
town to try and take on Brawly, but my team wasn't quite optimized to it, so I had to fight him a few times to try and find out a strategy to kill him. Eventually, after like
that
dozen
Hariyama's a
tries,
monster.
I finally figured out how to beat him. So I start off with Totodile, and I do some chip damage against his Hitmontop. I then go into Beep to mud-shot him twice to take him out. Hitmonlee outspeeds us, but after I hit it with a mud-shot, he does.
Oh my god, ads. I didn't even see the ad thing pop up. Why's my internet so slow? Well, my escape keys not be working.
What's the difference between your lawn?
I've got full internet. Also, 40,000. 1 million. 1 million views. Also, you can just see what happened.
Does not speed as
This is y'all.
so that we can take him out. Now as the
Oh.
last Hitman
Oh.
chapter.
Oh.
So we take him out with 2 mud shots after we get hit with a big fat facade. I know that Meta-Tide has rock slide, but I know that my Pinko can at least tank one of them and take him out with 2 flame wheels. Hariyama is always very bulky and very tough, so I go into Charmeleon and hit him with 3 smoke screens to lower its accuracy before
There's a
we
Wolf
can
and
take him
VGC
out.
video.
I then
Hold up.
send in
I'm gonna pause.
Toad, and because of all the accuracy drop, he
Oh.
doesn't hit
Don't
any
close
of
it.
his moves anymore. So
No.
last up is Poliwrath,
Oh.
and this thing knows Ice Punch, but it doesn't hit hard enough, so my Ivysaur is way stronger and takes him out. After acquiring our second gym badge, it was time for the Granite Cave Ice Puzzle, which is the second hardest ice puzzle I've ever had to do. My first hardest is a little bit further up in the game. So me being the stubborn guy that I am, I didn't want to look up a YouTube tutorial, so I was just sitting there for like half an hour trying to figure out how to get it. But eventually, I was smart enough, I was big brain, and I got through it. Just to find out that there was another one behind it, and me being stubborn once again, I didn't want to look it up, and eventually I did get through it after like an hour of trying. So we reached Steven, I delivered the letter, and we go to Sleeport Beach. After finding out that the beach is actually swamped with trainers, my Totodile evolved into a Croconaw. I then had to go to the museum where I had to fight some Team Aqua Grunts, and I actually lost a few times against these guys because they had OP teams. But after a few more tries, I managed to figure out their strategy and beat them. Then after a little bit more grinding, my Squirtle evolved into a War Turtle, and then I could take on May for the second rival fight. She starts off with Minun, which is not a good type matchup against my War Turtle, so we get taken out with a single Thunderbolt. Then I switched in Beeb, who finished it off with a single Mudshot. Then I switched in Grovyle, I switched in Pinko, hit it with a Flame Wheel, but she then switched into Croconaw. Big brain move right there. So I had to switch into Toad and finish it off with the single Magical Leaf. Pinko then took down Pidgeotto with 2 Flame Wheels, Beep made short work of Nidorina, Pinko finished off Grovyle with a single Flame Wheel, and last up was Charmeleon, who got finished off by Beep.
Anybody else see that?
That
was
with a single Flame Wheel, and last up was Charmeleon, who got finished.
That was Nidorina's
Pinko then took
animation.
down
That was
Pidgeotto with
cool.
Flame Wheels, Beep made short work of
Yeah, that's like the
Nidorina,
Mega Horn
Pinko finished
animation.
off Grovyle with a single Flame Wheel, and last up was Charmeleon, who got finished off by Beep with 2 Mud Shots. I then had to find Wally with his level 70 Ralts, level 70. Luckily, it only knew Pain Split, so we managed to make a quick job out of him. Then I tried to enter the gym, but as you try to enter the gym, there is a trainer that wants to fight you straight away, and I got stuck on this girl. For the love of God, I couldn't even get past her. How would I be able to get past Watson? So I decided that I had to do a big, and I mean a very big, grinding session. So while grinding up in the grass, because there really isn't any other place where you can grind up in this game, because there is no Versus Seeker, my Ivysaur evolved
Oh, it is
into
my
a
computer.
Venusaur. After a little bit more grinding,
It's so
my
laggy.
Pinko evolved into a Typhlosion, and my Marshtomp evolved into a Swampert. Marshtomp actually learned Rock Slide on the way, which was great, and my Typhlosion also learned Thunder Punch. So with my buffed up team, I took on the gym. I didn't know what he was going to lead with, so I just led with Venusaur, and I sludge bombed his Jolteon. And because of a crit, I actually took it out in 1 hit. Lantern was up next, and I knew that his thing had an ice move, but I decided to stay in anyway and hit it with 2 magical leaves to take it out. Ampharos had the hidden power for grass, so I was kinda afraid to bring in Swampert, but I managed to survive and we hit it with 2 mud shots to take it out.
Oh, that
The
did a
next two
lot.
Pokemon were Raichu and Electabuzz, which my Swampert took out with mud shot. The last Pokemon was Manectric, and Typhlosion managed to finish him off with 2 fire punches. As I was making my way up to Meteor Falls, I had another encounter with Red.
I think it.
Knew that it was going to start off with Pikachu, so I started off with Swampert and one-shotted it with my mud
Thought his
shot.
voiceover
Pinko
was
managed
kinda
to
like
deal with
lagging behind.
Venusaur. He also learned Thunder Punch when he leveled up. Snorlax was a little bit too beefy for my Venusaur to take him down. I did manage to get him down
Doesn't
with
Snorlax
red
have
health, but
immunity?
he then kept healing with rest, so eventually Venusaur went down and Swampert had to finish the job with Maywater. As it was Blastoise and with my Venusaur taken out, I had to go and opt for Swampert, which did take him out with only 3 mud shots.
Where's Chikorita?
Espeon went down with 2 fire punches from Pinko, and the last up was his Charizard who knew Earthquake, but Pinko hung on and took him down with 2 Thunder Punches as well. While I was making my way up to Meteor Falls once again, there were a lot of Team Magma grunts there, and my Crocodile managed to evolve into a Feraligatr. I then got stuck on one of the grunts who had a Chansey, and I just couldn't beat it, so I had to try, and eventually I did get past it, but it was a very hard Chansey to beat. We then did all of the shenanigans with Team Aqua and Team Magma in Meteor Falls and head straight to the volcano. And then I got stuck on the Team Magma commander Tabitha. His team was very well rounded.
You know what to make this game even harder is if it was a double battle. Oh, sorry, I was so close. I'm like, yeah, I think the one thing that would make this game sick. Oh. Okay, we're good. The only thing that would make this game even harder is if it was like all double battles. Any ideas? And if the creator sees this and does it, I would actually play it to beat it.
Rounded and could take down almost any opposition if you weren't over leveled. And I wasn't particularly that over leveled, but eventually though, I did get a strategy to take him down, and it was time to move on to Maxi. Next up is one of the hardest fights in the game. This is where a lot of people actually hook off and they just don't want to play the game anymore because this match is just so unfair. But if you get past it, I want to say that it gets better, but it really doesn't. It only gets worse, believe me. So he starts off with one of the Reggies. Yeah, he has a legendary Pokemon in his arsenal, which already makes it kinda hard. So after getting my ass handed to me about 3 times, I decided...
Fudge. No, he did it for me so I can start cursing again. However, I will keep it to a minimum. Wait, what's up? Oh, that was too far.
With one of the Reggies. Yeah, he has a legendary
No, what was that next
Pokemon,
Pokemon?
which already makes it kinda hard. So after getting my ass handed to me
Oh, is that like I was like,
about
what was
30
that?
times, I decided that it was time to grind. And with grind, I mean grind. Like a lot of grinding. I evolved my Charmeleon into a Charizard, and then after that, I also had to grind up my entire team.
You can just hear him like readjust himself.
Like level 40 to 45-ish.
Nautical, I told you
I
guys.
might have been able to have a chance to take him out. So his first Pokemon was a Registeel, and I do have my Swampert to take him down with a few mud shots. Houndoom was next, and I knew that he had hidden power grass, so I had to switch out. So then I switched into Pinko and double edged him twice, and then hit him with a quick attack, while we only were left with 6 health remaining, but we did take out the Houndoom. Next out was Claydol, so I switched in Venusaur to take him down with 2 Leaf Blades. Next up was Alakazam, so I switched in my Charizard and tried to finish him off with a Fire Punch and a Quick Attack, but he was left with a sliver of health, and then he took me down with a Thunder Punch. So I then switched in Pinko to finish it off with one last Quick Attack. Dusclops was up next, and I knew that this thing was going to be a staller, and I was right. He just had rest, and I just kept on crunching. Eventually I got the special defense drop, and he went down with a few more crunches. Last up was Crobat, and Thick Cheek actually managed to hit a critical Ice Punch before he went down. What a
Good job,
legend.
Thick Cheek.
Then I switched in Pinko to yet again finish it off with a Quick Attack. Next up was the hardest one, actually one of the hardest gym fights in this game.
Not the one of the holy carp.
If you aren't prepared for it, you're not gonna win, because this woman can take out every single type weakness that she has, because she has Solar Beam on every single one of her Pokemon, and there is always a sunny day up in her gym. So my Swampert was basically useless in this entire gym, even though that he was super effective against all of her Pokemon.
He is
I
4
knew that
times
I had
weak.
to grind up just a little bit more, so I grinded up my team up to level 50, and then I tried her gym
Superpower.
once again. Pinko took down her Ninetales with 2 double edges, and
Oh,
then she sent down
yeah, I thought
her
the recording
Charizard,
lagged for a
so I
minute.
switched into my Crocodile. She then went for a Heat Wave, and one Rock Slide managed to finish it off.
Fudge Muppet, an ad. Oh.
Sometimes I want to just.
It's a freaking speechifier. If it was a Pokemon one, I would be fine with it. Oh yeah, look, you can actually subscribe to Zwiggo. I watch a lot of Zwiggo content.
Charizard, but
Oh. The video's in
I did go for 2 wing
144p.
attacks because we outspeed her and we take her down. Next was Cast Form, and I went for a Fire Punch and a wing attack.
Bro, this
my
is
Charizard
disgusting,
went
like,
down,
10
and then Pinko finished it off
to
with a double.
video quality.
Next up was Hurt Typhlosion, so I knew that this thing had Earthquake, so I decided to stay in and hit it with one.
Yeah,
attack.
don't worry guys,
I
it'll fix
also
itself
knew
in a
that it
minute.
had Solar Beam, so I switched into my Feraligatr, and I knew that one Solar Beam couldn't take me out, and my Rock Slide managed to finish it off. Last up was our Arcanine, so I decided to stay in, but it knew extreme speed, so my Feraligatr got taken out. I then switched into Swampert, I tanked a Solar Beam somehow, hit it with a
Does
Mud Shot,
Arcanine get
lowered
Solar Beam
speed
at
for
any
the
point?
Venusaur to take it out next turn, and my Swampert went down to an extreme speed. Because of the speed drop, my Toad outsped her, and a Sludge Bomb finished her off. Next up was Norman, and I really wasn't too afraid of him because normal types normally aren't really that threatening to my team. And I was right, after like 2 or 3 attempts, I managed to get the better of him. His first Pokemon was a Kangaskhan, who took down my Feraligatr after I managed to hit him with a superpower.
So sorry for the quality, I can't fix it. Normally YouTube just fixes itself right about now. But I think it's going to be like this for the rest of the video. And it seems to be running a little smoother. Something's happening outside my door. That's scary. Somebody's getting yelled at. Yeah, somebody's getting their ass chewed out. I'm gonna continue the recording. That way, if she calls me, I don't have to restart. It's 16 minutes of my life.
Then switched in Pinko to finish it off with a Fire Punch. Next out was Toro, so I switched to my Venusaur and killed it with 2 Leaf Blades.
The quality
Next
fixed
up was
itself.
Espeon, and I thought that my Pinko could be able to deal with it, but we got taken out by a Psychic and a Single Beam. How is this a normal type Pokemon, by the way? So then I switched
how is
to
Espeon normal?
Swampert to hit it with a Muddy Water and take it out. Next up was Snorlax,
Oh,
and I
no.
managed to get off a Fire Punch with Sandra and burn him, which was amazing. He did set up a lot of curses, so he one-shotted me with a Body Slam afterwards. I then switched in Swampert and finished it off with a Muddy Water. Then his Swallow came out. I did get off an Ice Punch, but a Double Edge
Ooh.
finished off my Swampert, but
And
it
itself.
also took down the Swallow. I then switched in Marill. I know this is kind of illegal, but hear me out. If it would have been Wartortle, it would have had the same outcome. I just wanted to trigger his Truant ability, and then I wanted to switch in my final Pokemon on a safe turn. Technically, I didn't do damage with my Marill, so I don't feel like this was cheating. So then I switched in my Toad, and I hit it with
Crit!
a Blade, and I got the crit, and the Slacking went down in one single hit, and we got ourselves the...
That is insane, dude. I mean, Leaf Blade has a high crit rate, but holy carp! Hold on, let me take down my favorite Bakugan. It's a little fox. Bro, he did it! I have a little fox watching this with me. Actually, you know what? No. I'm gonna bring out the dragon. Hold up. He's on top of my dresser. Ugh! Here, keep your Yankees hat on. He's also got a Fiesta medal. He's also got a Sox hat on. He looks really cool. I'll do a video with him later. Like, I'll put a video on so you guys can see what it looks like. Like, I'll do a face cam video. Oh, that cover just now. He looks fun there, right? Yeah, he looks fine. This is me. Yeah, the dragon's now me for this video. I'm taking off his hat, unfortunately. And he actually has both of my earrings on. His ear, or like his little flaps.
So on his flaps, he actually has my earrings. I have a moon and star earring on one ear because I actually wear earrings. I actually need to get my ears re-pierced because my hole's closed up. I got them pierced recently, and I took off my earrings for a while, and you know the holes closed up because they just weren't trained that well yet, or something like that. I don't know. My grandma's like, "Yeah, you gotta keep them on." I was like, "Oh, okay." Then I have a pink diamond earring that I really like. So Toothless is now watching this with me. Also, his name is King Toothless. Say hi, King Toothless. What's up, peeps? John, can you unpause the video? No, my name's not John today. It's Zilla. Oh, alright. Zilla, unpause the video. Alright. Let's continue.
Was the 5th gym badge. Then I
this is a really weird personality.
Next to Mobile City, where I beat up some bug catchers that had level 100 Pokemon.
What?
And I got myself some Lucky Eggs, which are the only held items that I will be using in this entire run. Then I went to the Weather Institute and cleared that from Team Aqua as well, which wasn't too hard. And then it was time for another rival fight with May. She starts off strong with a Raichu, but my Venusaur got the better of him with 2 Leaf Blades. Feraligatr was up next, so I decided to stay in and one-shot.
Yeah, no, he's got a fire move.
Next up was Clefable, and my Feraligatr had a super effective superpower, but it barely did any damage, and we got taken out with a single Thunder. So then Beep had to finish off the Clefable.
Okay, I did say this earlier, and you might be asking, wait, you've never seen this. How would you know? No, I know this because of Pokemon challenges. He said that if it's like a water type, or like, okay, so say for instance, you have a fire type out, and your opponent has a grass type, or, yeah, like, say if you have a Charizard out, right? And you knocked out your opponent's Pokemon, and they have 2 Pokemon left. A grass type with Thunder Punch, or a water type. He said that they're always going to send out the grass type with Thunder Punch, because the Thunder Punch will always guarantee a knockout. So that's the only way I knew that thing had a fire move.
With 2 Muddy Waters. Next up was Sceptile, and this thing had a super effective Thunder Punch from our Charizard ready, but we were too strong and 2 Fire Punches finished it off. Last up was Nidoqueen, and my Swampert made short work of her as well. And now it was gym time once again, and no, your eyes are not betraying you. This girl has the 3 legendary freaking birds. So
no, that's not a bird, that's a Flygon.
Have guessed. We lost a lot of times
there's
against her.
Articuno.
So I grinded up my entire team in Mount Pyre against every single trainer that I could find, and then I went back.
Where's Mount Pyre at? I've actually never made it that far in Emerald.
75 to level 70. She starts
what?
with Aerodactyl and Zapdos, so I start off with my Feraligatr and Swampert. I use a Surf and a Mother Water, and the Aerodactyl is down in 1 turn. Next out was Flygon, so I decided to double up against it, but my Feraligatr got taken out. I switched in Venusaur, and Swampert luckily took it down with 1 Ice Punch. Next out was the Crobat, who actually had a Giga Drain for my Swampert, so it did crazy amounts of damage, but we doubled up on the Zapdos and it went down to a Sludge Bomb. Next up was the 2nd legendary bird, Articuno, but I decided to try and put the Crobat to sleep, but it had a Lumberry, so it woke up straight away, and the Articuno took down my Swampert with 1 hit. So then I switched in Charizard and tried to double up on the Articuno, but my Fire Punch was enough to take it down in 1 hit because it was a critical hit. Next up was Moltres, but first Crobat had to hit my Venusaur with a super effective Sky Attack before I could hit the Moltres with a Sludge Bomb. So then I split up my attacks. Charizard took down the Crobat with 1 Fire Punch, and Venusaur got a critical hit with Sludge Bomb to take out the Moltres.
Yo, he's level 69.
6th gym badge. Then I had to run through the entire Team Magma hideout, dying like a dozen times in the process because the grunts
did you get a million $Poké?
Hard. Now 6th gym badge. Then I had to run through the entire Team Magma hideout.
I got 100.
Like a dozen times in the process because the grunts, they were incredibly hard. And now comes one of the hardest fights in the entire game, the 2nd fight against Maxi once again. His team has changed drastically since the last time I fought him, including an Entei thrown in there, which literally sweeps my entire team. Honestly, if it wasn't for this Entei, I would be able to beat him easily.
Me?
We will build a highly profitable e-commerce.
No. Fuck this. No. No! Shut the fuck up! Oh, I think we hit the halfway point. Oh, look, we hit exactly 20 minutes. Now, I know you might hear like a background noise. It sounds like something's being hit. It's me practicing my drums. My drum pad. Call JG worth 877 now. 87. Okay, I'm getting back.
To beat him easily, but because of this Entei, I couldn't beat him at this level. I had to grind up
Nope.
even more.
144p
Luckily,
back.
Pokemon Team Magma Hideout.
Damn,
was pretty
John, you
high
have
level,
horrible
so
quality.
it didn't take me that
Shut up.
long, only like a couple of hours. I grinded up my team up to level 73.
I love how he adds only a couple of hours. Only a couple of hours. It wasn't that long.
And then the rest of my team members would be higher level. And then I tried again. But yet again, I failed a few times. And by a few, I mean another like 20 times. But I knew that it was possible because I got to his last Pokemon. So I kept on trying and trying and trying. And this is how it went down. His first Pokemon is a Tyranitar who goes down with one single leaf blade of my Venusaur. Next up was Executor, so I had to switch in Sandra and hit it with a flamethrower to take it out in one hit. Gengar is up next, so I decide to stay in and hit it with a flamethrower and take it out in one hit too. Entei comes out and I know that I have to go into Pinko here. I do go for flamethrower because the sun is up and it would do way more than double edge. So I managed to hit him with 2 flamethrowers and a quick attack before he
Bro,
takes
you
us out with 8
nailed
power.
him.
So then I go into Sandra, I manage to outspeed, and one more flamethrower takes down the Entei. Flygon is up next, so I stay in and get a critical flamethrower to take it out in one hit as well. Last up is once again is Arcanine, and I know that my Sandra is going to win this matchup, and I kill it with 2 flamethrowers and a quick attack.
You know what? You know what? Chat? No, guys. I'm gonna do something. Nothing here will expose me, right? Why isn't this going away? Go away. Okay, there we go. Right here. Yeah, there's nothing. Don't mind this. This is the emulator, I promise. Open a new tab. No, I actually won't be going through my files. Because I'm actually not sure what's in them. I haven't touched this computer in so long. But I promise you this. I will beat a Pokemon game later. Oh yeah, the anime I was watching. What was it called? It was called Confession of Love. That's here it is. Conception. There you go. It's called Conception. I just exposed F. Drug dealer simulator. No, don't. What is this? Sorry, I'm a big Unspeakable fan. Leave me alone.
And went straight to Team Aqua hideout and cleared that rather easily. I got attacked by some boats, so then it was time for yet another amazing
Oh my freaking lord, Tate and Liza.
hard gym battle. Yes, you see this right. Tate and Liza have Latios and Latias
I mean, they're
as
psychic
their
types.
starting Pokemon, which is not great. Because those two alone can deal
Jirachi!
some damage to my team. And not to be surprised, they weren't actually their best Pokemon. Starmie gave me a harder time than those two. And after trying another 20 times, I knew that this was not going to be possible. So I fought every single trainer that I could find, and then I trained up a little bit more by fishing, and my entire team was eventually level 80 or higher. I then tried again and started...
I'm gonna say that. Oh, I choked on my own cilantro. Yeah, cilantro. Damn, Toothless. Hold up. I need to fix my dragon. He's falling. There we go. He looks really cool with the mask on.
I'll do a video later today, and then I'll put it on YouTube, hopefully, if I remember. Just like the link in the description for this video. But yeah, let's continue.
Started off with Venusaur and Swampert, and I double teamed on their Latios. I used Ice Punch and Sludge Bomb to take it out. Starmie came out next, and I leaf bladed it with.
Oh yeah, what I was gonna say, he's gonna have a lot of issues with the Elite Four, because all of the Elite Four were like literally level 100, and they all have like a bunch of legendaries.
Hit, and then my Swampert also did an Ice Punch on the Latias. The turn after that, my Swampert got taken out, but my Venusaur did manage to land a Sludge Bomb on the Latias. Next turn, I switched in my Feraligatr to hit it with an Ice Punch and take it out, and my Venusaur managed to hit a Sludge Bomb on the Gardevoir. Next out came Medicham, and I tried to one-shot the Gardevoir with another Sludge Bomb, but the Medicham used Fake Out, so my Venusaur flinched, and my Feraligatr did hit a Surf. I then switched in Sandra, took out the Medicham, and Jirachi came out, so they had another legendary. But the turn after that, we finished them all off with a Surf and a Flamethrower. We then acquired our 7th gym badge, and then it was time to take on the Musdeep Space Center together with Steven. I decided to go in with my 3 best Pokemon, which were Swampert, Venusaur, and Charizard. And Steven went in with a Metagross, Aerodactyl, and Starmie. Luckily, this fight wasn't that hard, and my Pokemon made quick work of their Pokemon. Then after the fight, I captured myself a Sharpedo as my new HM slave. I then went down to the Silver Cavern to yet again solve an ice puzzle. And by solving an ice puzzle, I mean getting stuck there for literally 3 whole hours. And this time, it wasn't because I didn't want to look it up, because I looked it up and there were physically no videos on YouTube on how to do this. After searching for about half an hour on the internet, I finally found a guide which listed every single step you had to do to get through this cave. So I used that, and eventually I got out.
It's somehow so foggy.
Then after I got out of the ice part, there
was a water part.
The water part puzzle, and I got stuck there for another hour. Yup. I just wasted 4 hours of my life on useless puzzles. Thanks, creator of Pokemon Kaizo. Eventually, I got to Archie himself, and I confronted him. And I'm not kidding you, this is my first attempt, and I actually won on my first attempt, which is great.
Raikou, oh, he's got a...
started off with a super effective hidden power, but my Earthquake managed to finish him off.
Water, ground, and grass.
Who took down my Swampert with another hidden power. So I switched in Charizard, hit him with a Flamethrower, but it didn't do enough damage because of the rain, and a Rock Slide took me out in one hit. Pinko then came out and finished the job with another Flamethrower. Next up was Snorlax, so I switched in Toad and put it to sleep with Sleep Powder and finished it off with a lot of Leaf Blades. Next up was another legendary dog, Suicune, so I put it to sleep with Sleep Powder and finished it off.
Yeah, the powders are super essential.
Wailord went down the same way as Suicune. Last up was Dragonite, and I stayed in and hit it with a Sleep Powder, but he had a Lumberry, so he healed up. I then missed my
Draco Meteor.
He managed to hit me with 2 Draco Meteors. I put it back to sleep, healed myself up with Synthesis and 2 Sludge Bombs, won me the battle. We then wake up Rayquaza and do all of that shenanigans, yada yada yada, you know how that goes. Now it's time for our final gym battle.
Hold up. Christina, make a tea?
That's super overpriced, but whatever. Can you just buy it? We've been shopping all day. My eyes hurt. Wait. There's gotta be a coupon code. Perfect. We've got honey. Just press apply coupons and we're good to go. Stop distracting her. We could have been done by now. Those coupon codes never work anyway. Honey searches the whole internet for a good promo code. And
not sponsored. I just like watching the ads.
Gym battle against
Forgot I was recording.
And Juan. First you have to beat Wallace, and after that you actually have to beat Juan as well. And these fights were honestly not that hard. I actually got both of them first try. Wallace starts off with his Kingdra, and I start off with my Charizard, and I managed to hit him with a Fly and a Quick Tag before we get taken out by a Draco Meteor. I then switched into Thick Cheek to take it out with one last superpower. Castform came out, and I decided to stay in with my Feraligatr, but that was not a good option because...
I'm gonna let this go, but I'm not gonna commentate for a minute. I'm gonna actually switch my hat, because I'm wearing a hat right now with Toothless, and I'm gonna take the mask and put it on, because I'm actually gonna get ready for the upcoming next video. So this is gonna play through Okay, any commentary from me for at least a minute, so I'll be right back.
His thunder took me out in one hit. So I switched in Toad and took it out with a leaf blade. Next up was Ludicolo, who went down to one single sludge bomb. Next up was Swampert, so I stayed in and hit it with sleep powder, but he had a lumberry, so he woke up. He hit me with an earthquake. I then put him to sleep once again, healed myself up with synthesis twice, and then one leaf blade took down the Swampert, which also got my Toad up to level 100, which was my very first level 100 Pokemon in this run. Next up was Lapras, but I killed it with one single leaf blade, and last up was Milotic, who put me to sleep with hypnosis and managed to hit me with 3 ice beams. I was left with 8 health, but I woke up and one leaf blade finished the Milotic in one turn. Then I had to fight Juan, but I had the time to heal up between battles, so I did that, and then I lead off with my Venusaur and Swampert as he leads off with his Kingdra and Lapras. I decided to use sleep powder on the Kingdra, but he had a lumberry, so he woke up straight away. Swampert's Rock Slide didn't do enough damage, so next turn I opted to kill the Lapras with Leaf Blade. Castform came out, and then I killed it with another Leaf Blade, and Swampert barely did any damage once again with Rock Slide. Next turn Lantern came out, but Kingdra took out my Swampert with another Octazooka, and Leaf Blade did take out the Lantern, and I switched in my Charizard. Ludicolo then came out, so I used Sludge Bomb on it, but Sandra got taken out by a single Octazooka. So I switched in my Fraligator, and Sludge Bomb took out the
Excuse me, did you
Ludicolo,
say
out by a
Octazooka?
single Octazooka.
Yeah, he
So
did.
I switched in my Fraligator, and Sludge Bomb took out the Ludicolo. Last up was Vaporeon, so I double teamed on it with Leaf Blade and Superpower, because I didn't know that Leaf Blade was going to take it out, but it did. So then Draco Meteor hit the Fraligator, and I hit the Superpower on the Kingdra to leave it with a slither of health, and next turn my Fraligator got taken out, and Venusaur finished off the Kingdra with a Leaf Blade. Now that we have our final gym badge, you might think that we can go to the Pokemon League, but no, we have to do a few more things before we do that. In front of Victory Road, there is a patch
Please name it
grass
KFC.
where you can catch the final few team members that I need. Namely,
Yeah!
Busket,
Yeah!
Oh, I've never been so excited to
Robot.
see something
Since
named
throughout
KFC.
this run, I really wasn't that satisfied with Fraligator, and then I also had one last empty team slot that I needed to fill up, so I chose Blaziken and Sceptile to fill those 2 boots. Blaziken gets the name KFC, and Sceptile gets the name Genk. I don't
Genk?
know why. I then cleared through Victory Road rather easily. We didn't have that many problems, and I went into the Pokemon League, but all of their Pokemon were level 100, so I knew that I had to grind up to max level. And that is exactly what I did. I went to the Victory Road, and since the Pokemon there are around level 75, it wasn't that hard, and it only took me a couple of hours to train them up to level 100. And then before we enter the league, here is one last look at the team. Oh yeah, and my Blaziken has Modest Nature, which is very good because that means that my Flamethrower will be hitting way harder. Honestly, the stats on these Pokemon aren't that amazing. They are just their base stats, so that's why they're kind of lowish. And then I went into the first Elite Four.
Oh
fight
yeah,
with
Sydney's hard.
But as you might think, I forgot to buy potions, so I lost a few times without realizing that I bought potions. And then I went into the shop and I saw that you could buy rare candies, so I grinded up my Pokemon for nothing. Great, thanks. I then proceeded to bump my head 2 hours into the wall because I felt so stupid that I didn't check the Pokemon art, and then I finally got the courage to pick the game back up.
Alright, my family's actually about to leave, so I get to go do this in my living room soon. So that's a hooray. You guys can just hear me getting ready as I'm recording. So
Back up and decide to take on the Elite Four. His first Pokemon was a Sableye, and I had to use Sleep Powder twice because he had a Lumberry. I then healed myself up with Synthesis and Leaf Bladed him twice because one of my Leaf Blades was a critical hit to take him out. Next up was Alakazam, and I knew that I needed 2 Pokemon to take this thing down because he took down my Pinkko with just 2 hidden powers. So then I switched in Genk and hit it with a Leaf Blade to take out the Alakazam. Next up was Jolteon, so I switched in my Toad and took it out with 2 Sludge Bombs. Next up was a Houndoom, and I knew that this thing had hidden power, so I couldn't switch into Swampert, so I went to the Blaziken and hit it with a Sky Uppercut and a quick attack to take it out. Next up was Tauros, so I went into Genk, Leaf Bladed it, we got hit with a very hard hitting Double Edge, and I think that I would take it out next turn, but he had quick attack, so Genk went down. So then I switched into KFC and hit it with my own quick attack to take down the Tauros. Last up was Machamp, so I switched into Charizard and proceeded to set it on fire with my Flamethrower, but Rock Slide got the better of me. Beeb then finally gets in action, hits him with an Earthquake, it doesn't take him out, but Superpower's recoil damage takes down the Machamp. Next up was Phoebe, and her team was even harder to beat. Still not the hardest fight that I've ever had.
Want to hear a short story of the average timeshare vacation? Once upon a time, I wanted to use my timeshare, but I couldn't because there were no dates available. The end. Not the best story, I know. Thankfully, finding...
Sorry. Trying to tuck in. Get ready for this video. You guys are going to be rather surprised.
So after trying about 20 to 30 times, I finally figured out a strategy to beat her. Her first Pokemon, Gengar, goes down to my Genko's Crunch, and then next up is Ludicolo, so I switch in my Venusaur to take it out with 2 Sludge Bombs. Next up is Gardevoir, so I switch into Genk and hit it with a Leaf Blade, but it doesn't do enough damage, so we get 1 shot, and then I switch in Charizard to take it down with 1 final Flamethrower. Crobat, thank...
Okay, so I'm going to say something before I continue with this video. I hope that I actually look pretty good in this. I'm not like an old guy going to a funeral. I've been told that's what it kind of looks like with the actual other jacket on. So hopefully the actual jacket, the jacket that you just use after you take off the jacket, will actually fit me and make it look like a bartender. And here we go. There's my bartender look. I don't have a hat, unfortunately, but I am going to put my mask on.
Comes out, so I decide to stay in. I hit it with a Flamethrower and it actually burns him. He then puts me to sleep with Hypnosis and hits me with a lot of air slashes, and eventually we do go down because we can't hit him anymore. I switch in KFC to finish off the Crobat with a quick attack. Next up was Dusclops, and this thing was a very hard Pokemon to beat because he would just use Rest and Double Team to make my moves miss and waste my PP. So after about trying 10 or 12 moves with my Venusaur, I decided to switch in KFC. I managed to hit 2 Flamethrowers, but I got taken out with a Brick Break, and then I switched in Swampert and took down the Dusclops with an Earthquake. Next up was Sableye, and this thing was as annoying as Dusclops. He would also heal up with Recover and set up a lot of double teams to waste my PP, but eventually, after Swampert took him down with a critical Earthquake, we win ourselves the second Elite Four member fight. So the next Elite Four member fight was with Glacia, and this woman was so hard to beat. And
yeah,
no, it
Glacia's
was
really
not
hard.
because of her Red Eyes, or because of her Lapras, or because of her Glalie. No, it was of her freaking Dugong. Dugong outspeeded my entire team and one-shotted all of my Pokemon if I wasn't careful. So there really wasn't that much of a strategy behind this fight, I just needed a lot of RNG luck. Eventually, after resetting about 200 times, I'm not kidding you, 200 might even be taken lightly, it might be 300 or even more. This fight was so hard, we did do it. She starts off with her Glalie and I start off with my Charizard, and I have to take down this Glalie without fainting. And there is about a 95% chance that my Charizard faints, but this time he didn't, and we took down the Glalie with 2 Flamethrowers. Next out was Reggie, so I hit it with a Flamethrower, but we get taken out by a Thunder. I then switched in Pinko, hit it with a Flamethrower and a Double Edge before we get taken out by a Hidden Power. KFC then comes out and finishes the job with his Sky Uppercut. Next up was Dugong, so I switched in my Venusaur and hit it with a Leaf Blade, and it took it out in 1 hit, which is very rare to happen. Next up was Wailord, so I decided to stay in, hit it with a Leaf Blade, but it did in 1 shot, and Water Spout took out my Venusaur. Genk then took out the Wailord, and next up was Swampert, who is faster than my Sceptile. How is Swampert faster than Sceptile? I don't know, but he hit us with an Ice Beam, and 1 Leaf Blade takes out the Swampert. Her last Pokemon was Lapras, and I hit it with a Leaf Blade. It doesn't one-shot. She hits us with a very big Hydro Pump, and then hits us with an Ice Shard. I then switch in Swampert and finish it off with a Rock Slide to then win ourselves the 3rd Elite Four member battle. And now it's time for our final Elite Four member battle with Drake.
Drake is the hardest.
Flippin' Drake. This guy is on my most hated list from now on, just because of this battle. I used to think that this guy was the coolest Elite Four member.
Oh, yeah.
But because of this game, I hate him now, because I was stuck here for literally 4 hours. 4 hours. I'm not even even exaggerating that. I could show you all of the footage and it would be 4 hours of just this fight, me resetting, and I honestly wanted to give up because I didn't know that it was going to be possible. But there was this one time that I got to his final Pokemon Dragonite, and he literally had a sliver of health left, like 2 or 3 health left, and then he took out my final Pokemon, so I knew that it had to be possible, so I had to keep trying and trying and trying. But I really pushed my limits with this fight. The amount of RNG needed was almost impossible, but I did beat it. So let's see how I did it. His first Pokemon, Latios, has about a 90% chance to take down my Charizard with a single Draco Meteor, but that can't happen because one of my—
I did say he was gonna lose his mind with this fight. I'll be back. Hopefully I don't get it. Oh my god, I did that successfully.
My flies has to be a crit and the second one has to take him out, which eventually happened. But even if that happened, it wasn't a guaranteed win, by far actually. He then switched in his Dragonite and I switched in my Swampert and hit him with 3 Ice Punches. I have no idea how that second Ice Punch didn't take him out, but we took out the Dragonite. Next up is Tyranitar, who doesn't give me that much of a problem because 2 Leaf Blades take it out as he just sets up a Dragon Dance. Next up is Kingdra, and this thing had also about a 90% chance to take down my Venusaur with 2 Ice Beams, and I had to hit it with 2 Sleep Powders because we always had a Lumberry on him. In this one, I managed to hang on, hit him with 2 Sleep Powders, and then heal myself up with Synthesis. The Kingdra then woke up too early, almost took me down once again, but I managed to get it back to sleep, heal myself up, and then take it down with another Sludge Bomb and a Leaf Blade. Next up was Latias, so I stayed in and hit it with 2 Sludge Bombs before my Venusaur went down to a Dragon Claw. I then
breathe in and wonder, is this helping? Breathe out. Now you should feel much worse. Vaping nicotine can actually increase feelings of stress and anxiety.
Metaverse? I don't give a cart.
I then switched in Pinko and went for a quick attack to take down the Latias. Next up was Salamence, and I really didn't know how to take him down easily, so I just stayed in and hit him with a Double Edge and a quick attack before we get taken out. I then went into Gink to hit him with a Dragon Claw, but Air Slash one-shotted me. I then thought that I had lost because I knew that quick attack wasn't going to one-shot it, and it didn't, but then I realized that my Charizard also had quick attack, so I used quick attack with my Charizard and won the battle. I was honestly speechless. I was just sitting there in happiness, so happy that I finally beat this guy, and then I still had to face the champion.
Oh yeah, the champion's he's gonna lose it. Actually, no. I'm assuming he beats it first try.
So after healing up my Pokemon with my last few full restores and elixirs, I tried to take on Steven. And I'm not
Oh my
kidding
god.
you, this is my first attempt. His first Pokemon was Metagross, who I took down with a Flamethrower and a Quick Attack. Then next up was Jirachi, so I stayed in and hit it with 2 Flamethrowers and that thing was down too. Next up was Starmie, so I switched in Gink and I hit it with a Leaf Blade, but it had 1 HP left, so it hit me with a super effective Ice Beam, which almost took me out, but 1 more Leaf Blade and Starmie was down. Next up was Mewtwo, so I didn't know what to do and I stayed in and I hit it with a Leaf Blade and it was a critical hit and it took down the Mewtwo in 1 hit. If it wasn't a crit, I would not have won this fight. Next was Aerodactyl, so I switched in Swampert to take it down with 2 Muddy Waters. And I still had my full team remaining for his last Pokemon, which was Deoxys. I stayed in and let Beep go down to a Psycho Boost. And then switched in Genk to try and outspeed it, but Deoxys was still faster and killed me with a Psycho Boost. And Hero was kind of panicking because because I thought that Deoxys was going to sweep my entire team because I couldn't outspeed him. So Simpico, he hit me with a Psycho Boost, I was left with 10 HP, and one Flamethrower finishes off the Deoxys, and I am the champion of Pokemon Emerald Kaizo with starters only. This is my life accomplishment, achievement. I don't care. This was an amazing run, and I kinda love doing it, but it kinda drove me crazy as well. As you can see, this took me about 96 in-game hours, and normally a game like Pokemon Emerald takes me about 20 hours to finish, which means that it took me 5 times longer than a normal playthrough, which is crazy. Normally I spend around 5 to 6 hours on each Pokemon challenge, so that means that this took me about 25 to 30 hours to finish. So if you guys could leave a like, that would be really appreciated. Now, would I recommend playing Pokemon Emerald Kaizo to you guys? Well, if you really want to push your limits and you really want to torture yourself and you don't want to have any fun in Pokemon, I would definitely try this. If you want to try and keep your sanity, I would leave this game alone. Oh, and
Alright guys, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna get ready for my next coming video. The me video, the actual Zilla outfit video. I'm actually getting ready right now, and I just gotta do my hair, and I should be ready. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and be on the lookout for my next video. This video will be up in about 20 minutes, and then the video after this will be the me video. So excited, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace!